Hey everyone, and welcome to this new speed build in The Sims 4, and today I'm building a tiny house using the new Tiny Living stuff pack that came out for The Sims 4 recently. And this house is a tier 2 tiny house. It only uses 54 tiles. And I think you can have up to 2 Sims in this house, but you can of course invite as many Sims as you want, and you can upgrade this house as much as you want and still be in the tiny house, or actually be in this small house residential lot, because you can upgrade this house until you reach the 100 tiles, so you have quite a bit to work with here. And this house is surrounded by a big garden with a lot of flowers, a lot of trees, because if you don't know, for the past couple of years I've been watching a lot of tiny houses videos and tiny living videos. I've been following a lot of channels on YouTube that talk about tiny living, and also I've read a lot of articles, and I've been even trying to imagine and plan out my personal tiny house with my boyfriend. We've tried to, or actually we've started thinking about doing something like that maybe in the future, who knows. But this is something that really interests me a lot, and with all of the knowledge that I have acquired all throughout this past couple of years, I have learned that when you're living in a tiny house, it's actually really great and really useful to have a nice backyard around to be able to do more stuff, rather than staying enclosed within the four walls of your tiny house, basically. So this is something that I took and put in this tiny house that I've built here today, and I've added this big garden with a lot of flowers, a lot of trees, and a lot of open space. And especially with the patio area that I will put just in front of the tiny house, and I will also put a barbecue area, and I will put mainly most of all of the skills items that you can use to build on your skills with your Sims outside. So you can build, I think, the flower arranging skill with the flower arranging table that I will put just next to the patio. You can also paint, you can garden, and you can of course cook. You can do a bunch of things outside of this tiny house, and you can also enjoy just the scenery and relax, have a good drink with friends on the patio, which was actually what I was thinking when I was furnishing this patio area. And inside you have quite a lot of space actually. You have the dining area in this kind of sunroom, which is actually really small but can fit actually the TV, which is the TV bookshelf stereo combo, and that's something that I'm so happy to see. You also have the kitchen, and you of course have the Murphy bed with the love seat. Actually, something that I was quite disappointed with the Murphy beds was that they were only electrical, and you cannot have a Murphy bed that's not electrical. This is something that I was quite disappointed with, because something that I was really looking forward to was to be able to build a tiny house off the grid, even though I haven't built an off the grid house for a little while, because I feel like the off the grid is still quite glitched, and there are a lot of items, especially when it comes to lighting, that you cannot use in the off the grid lot trait, which don't really make a whole lot of sense to me. Like, for example, candles. You should be able to use a candle off the grid, but still some of them I think are still not functional under the off the grid lot trait. Maybe I'm a little bit behind on the updates, but I think there are a couple of candles that I would like to use that are still not usable on the off-the-grid lot trait. Why do I say loft trait? Also, yes, I would have liked to be able to see loft beds or see loft being improved in The Sims 4. This is something that I would have liked to see with this stuff pack, but anyway. But yeah, the Murphy beds, you cannot use them with the off-the-grid lot trait, which I think was not a very good choice there. But I mean, the Murphy beds have improved still since The Sims 2 and The Sims 3, because now we can add a love seat next to this bed, and that's really great. I'm actually really pleased with that, to see that we can have objects with multiple usage. This is something really great, and I hope this will continue on with next packs in The Sims 4. I'd love to see more items having multiple usage to them, like for example the TV with the stereo. I would like to be able to see more of those items come for The Sims 4. And also in the tiny house you have a bathroom with a shower, a toilet, and of course a sink. And the door that I used for accessing the bathroom is a door that came with the Island Living expansion pack. And this is the sliding door, because this is also something that I saw in the Tiny Living houses and articles that I've read and that I've seen, that I've watched. Having a sliding door in a small space is actually a huge space saver because you don't have to open the door and have an empty space in front of the door to be able to open that door, if that makes any sense. All you have to do is just to slide the door and there you go. No need to move things around to be able to enter a room, just like for example here the bathrooms. So that's why I used the island living sliding door, and it goes pretty well within this tiny house. Also, for the color theme that I chose for this tiny house, you will see that I've used a lot of green and blues and kind of minty colors, and that's because in my own time I restarted for the 4th time the Not So Berry challenge. I tried it here on the channel a while ago, but I kind of fell off from it. I don't know, I just didn't really feel connected to The Sims anymore, and I guess maybe the Rose generation is not something that inspires me a whole lot because it's always around this generation that I'm kind of falling off the train, if that makes any sense. But this time around I really want to go and play with this Not So Berry challenge, and if I really don't feel like playing the Rose generation, maybe I can just jump the Rose generation and add it on later on. I don't know, I will see, but I really want to play the Not So Berry challenge. So this year I want to be as good as possible and finish finally the Not So Berry challenge. So let me know in the comments if you would be interested in maybe some current household updates on this family that I'm playing with right now. Just let me know, but it's, you know, it's the Not So Berry challenge. You can see that everywhere now. Everyone has done the Not So Berry challenge, but let me know if you'd be interested in seeing The Sims and their storyline. Sorry, my nose is kind of itchy. I've been kind of sick those past couple of days. But yeah, for the color theme inside the house and even for the patio space, it was highly inspired from the Sims that I'm playing off screen. But anyway, I'm actually really pleased with this lot, and something also that doesn't really happen often to me when I'm building is that this tiny house, I built it in just one go. I didn't have to restart over and over just reusing the same floor plan because something just didn't go well as I was recording, or because I tried something and it took a lot of time and it just messed up the entire thing and I had to restart over and over. It didn't happen this way with this tiny house. I just started building, tried things out. I even went into the debug menu, which is not something that I do quite often, to be able to make those stone paths to go to the patio area and to the street as well. By the way, we are in Oasis Springs, which is also part of the influence from my Not So Berry challenge because my sim was living in Oasis Springs, so I wanted to build in Oasis Springs. I don't know why. So there you go. This is why we are in Oasis Springs. But yeah, I just experimented a few different things with this tiny house and with the landscaping. Also, you will probably see me turn on and turn off quite often the move objects cheats, and that's because first of all I wanted to be able to place all of the items inside the tiny house without having any routing issues. By the way, I've played and tested this house, it works perfectly, no problems at all. And yeah, I wanted to place everything without having issues and without over placing, you know, clutter items and everything. I don't really like that when I'm playing in the game, so this is not something that you will see me do often in my builds. But also when it came to the landscaping, I'm not the best when it comes to doing the landscaping on houses, and I tend to add many plants everywhere, which can sometimes make my computer lag a lot. And I was thinking, if you guys want to put this slot on your computer, or actually in your game, so on your computer technically, and your computer is as powerful as mine, or maybe a little bit less powerful than mine, because I definitely do not play on a gaming computer, it could end up lag a little bit. So I tried to not use too many plants all around the garden, which is why I turned on the move objects cheat, or actually I turned it off when I was placing some of the plants to avoid placing too many around the tiny house. And I think it looks quite airy, and you know, you see that it's very lush and that there's a lot of plants and that nature has almost taken over this tiny house, but it's not too much, you know, it's still you can still feel like it's breathing, you know, and this is exactly what I wanted to go with the landscaping of this tiny house. But yeah, I'm actually really happy with how it turned out, and I'm also very sorry because I've used a lot of different packs in this build. build. I've used actually almost every pack, or especially Island Living, Discover University, of course Tiny Living, and probably a few other items from other packs. I just didn't want to restrain myself too much. I wanted to have fun and, as I said, experiment a little bit more. But I would like for next time to build a tiny house, or maybe a small house, or a micro home, depending on the inspiration that I have, with using only the base game and Tiny Living. This is my plan, but we'll see how we go for that. But anyway, I'm actually going to leave you here, so I really hope you like this tiny house. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you have any suggestions also for builds for me to build, just let me know in the comments as well. I would love to see what I can do with your suggestions. You will find also in the description all of the information for you to go and download this house on the gallery. You can find it also in-game using my origin ID, which is Mojam11. And yeah, I'm going to leave you here, so I really hope you enjoyed this video and that you will enjoy the rest of this video, and I will talk to you very soon.